Hello and welcome you once again in this new session of history. Today's topic is once again about the Akbar the Great. In our last session we have learned about the Akbar's how he became the king, at what age he became the king, his regent Bairam Khan helped in the second battle of Panipat, how he conquered the second battle of Panipat, his friendship with the Rajputanas, he conquered Malwa, Gujarat, Bengal, Kashmir, his battle against the Malwa, his administrative policy, his central administration we have learned. Now in this session we will start with the provincial administration. In this provincial administration, Akbar has divided his province into 15 subas, and all these subas were controlled by the Subedar, and Subedar was being appointed by the emperor himself, and he looked after civil as well as military matters, and he was held by the Diwan who used to collect the land revenue. Apart from that, every Suba was being divided into 4 districts, and 4 districts further were divided into the districts. These were called the Sarkars, and these Sarkars consist lots of villages. They were known as Parganas. In the town, an official called Kotwal looked after the administration. So Kotwal, he looked after the town. There was a 15 province, each province was looked after by the Subedar, because provinces were known as Subas. Along with the Subas, there was Diwan. He supervised the land revenue, he maintained the land records. Suba were divided into the district, they were known as Sarkars, and each Sarkar consists of Parganas. Parganas means several villages come under one, and Akbar's administrator. And there was also a town, and that town was looked after by the Kotwal. His army organization was known as Mansabdari. For the proper organization of the army, Akbar introduced Mansabdari system. And what was Mansabdari system? The term Mansab means a rank or position. Mansab means rank or position. And a Mansabdar is the person who holds a rank. The following were the main feature of the Mansabdari system. What were the rules of Mansabdari system? First, Akbar gave a rank or Mansab to each official to his service. The Mansabdars had to maintain horsemen, depute them for fighting battles for the emperor. Akbar introduced the system branding horses and maintaining the descriptive roles of the soldiers. So every Mansabdars, that means the rank, used to given by Akbar himself. Akbar, who were the Mansabdars, they have to maintain the horse. They were the horsemen, they must depute the fighting battles for the emperor. Akbar also introduced the system of branding horses. Second was Mansabdar. Mansabdar with the lowest rank was required to maintain 10 horsemen. Every Mansabdar has to maintain 10 horsemen, and these 10 horsemen with one with the highest rank was supposed to maintain 7,000 horsemen, and the Mansabs above 5,000 were reserved for the members of the royal family. So 7,000 horsemen were the highest rank, and all the Mansabs who hold the 5,000 were reserved for the members of the royal family. Third policy was Mansabdars were gained Jagirs. They were granted Jagirs. Mansabdar was entitled to fixed share of the revenue from his Jagirs as salary for his service to the emperor. So every Jagir, they were given to the Jagirs. From there you have to maintain your army, and you have to pay the taxes to the government also. The Mansabdars had no say in the administrator for their Jagirs, and the Mansabs was not hereditary. with the passing away of the Mansabdar. His Jagir is reserved to the emperor, who grants it to somebody else. So it cannot be transferred to a family member. It was the choice of the Akbar's whom he wants to give the Jagir. Akbar also maintained the standing army, for which he recruited troops directly. Now, revenue system. Akbar finance minister Raja Todarmal basically followed the land revenue that was known as a bandobast. Raja Todarmal's bandobast. And what was it? Tax was excessed on every landholder. Every landholder have to be pay the tax according to his land position. Then a bamboo stick equal to the length of one jarib was used. Jarib was the land measurement, like scale we used to measurement the land. A bamboo stick was being used to measurement the land. Todarmal also introduced Dahashala. What was Dahashala? Dahashala, where the land revenue, it was used for the land revenue. Under this system, the revenue was fixed on an average yield of the land except for the past 10 years. It was seen that for the past 10 years, how much land revenue you have fixed for the next 10 years. By seeing the past 10 years, 1/3 of the average yield was emperor shares, and the land revenue could be paid in a cash or in a coin. And for revenue assessment, the land was divided into 4 categories. And the 4 categories were dependent on its fertility. Fertility means polage, cultivated every area, parauti once of the 2 years, chachad once of the 3 or 4 years, and banjar once in a 5 or more years. So land revenue was divided into 4 categories, were polage, parauti, chachad, and banjar. In times of the drought, the farmers were given loans. Land revenue were also reduced or totally waived of the decreased farmer. If there is a drought or a flood, the farmers were given to the loan. Even they were reduced or totally waived their taxes to be paid in that year. Okay, now trade. Akbar encouraged trade during his reign. To the Portuguese were allowed to set up trading posts in the west coast. The Indian traders exported spices, indigos, and textile. To facilitate trade, a standard currency in the form of gold, silver, copper were introduced. Akbar's religious policy. Akbar's religious policy was based on the principle of Sulakul, which means universal peace or peace with all. Sulakul. Akbar treated all the religions equally. Due to his policy of the religious freedom, Akbar succeeded in winning the friendship of the Rajput and respect the common Hindus. He undertook the following steps according to the Sulakul. Sulakul's policies were: the jizya or the pilgrimage taxes. Jizya or pilgrimage taxes earlier imposed on the Hindus were abolished. The Hindus were allowed to build temples and celebrate their festival freely. Akbar did not discriminate against Hindus who served as administrators, respecting their talent. He appointed many Hindus to the high post, for example, Todarmal, Birbal, and Mansingh. Rajput princes whom Akbar had married were allowed to pursue their religions. Akbar gave land grants to the person of all the religious. So his religious policies were that he abolished the taxes, pilgrimage taxes for the Hindus. He allowed Hindus to build temples and to celebrate all their festival. Akbar also discriminate Hindus to serve as an administrator like Todarmal, Birbal, Man Singh, and the princess of Rajput whom he had married were allowed to pursue their own religion. Akbar also grant land to the person of all the religious. Deen-e-Ilahi. It was a religious discussion of Ibadat Khana. It was the enlightened Akbar about the fundamental ideas of various religions. He founded Deen-e-Ilahi, which consisted of the fundamental idea of major religions. It was like a spiritual order of the code of moral conduct. So, Deen-e-Ilahi was contained the fundamental idea of major religions. Deen-e-Ilahi was aimed to promoting the universal brotherhood by bringing Hindu, Muslim and the followers of other faith closer. It was to promote the universal brotherhood of Hindu and Muslims and some other followers to come closer. It was recognized the emperor to represent the God on earth. No holy book, priest, place of worship and rituals were associated with Deen-e-Ilahi. Akbar did not force his subjects to follow the Deen-e-Ilahi. Even among the Hindu nobility, only Birbal accepted Deen-e-Ilahi. So, Birbal accepted the Deen-e-Ilahi. His literature and music. He was very fond of literature and music. His 9 Navratnas were were Abul Fazl, who was the author, Faizi, poet, Abdul Rahman Khane Khana, poet, and Raja Todarmal, administrator, Raja Man Singh, general, Raja Birbal, minister and the friend of Akbar, Azizuddin, scholar, Mullah Do Piazza, scholar. His Persian was his court language. Akbarnama, a biography, was written by Abul Fazl. It is in a 3 volume. Then in this last volume is titled Aine Akbari. Poet like Tulsidas, Vallabhacharya, Rahim, Keshav Das produced valuable Hindi work during his time. Tulsidas wrote Ramcharitramanas, a translation of Ramayana in Hindi during the reign of Akbar. Akbar set up the translation department to translate work of Sanskrit, Arab, Greek and Persian. The epic of Ramayana and Mahabharata was translated in Persian. So, Ramayana and Mahabharata also translated into the Persian language. Akbar had 36 museums in his court and the famous was Tansen. Tansen was amongst the greatest singer ever India has produced in Indian classical. In his architectures here you can see that Fatehpur Sikri. See, this is the Fatehpur Sikri, Agra Fort, Buland Darwaza. These were one of his famous architectural structure. And notable structures are Fatehpur Sikris are Diwane Khas, Diwane Am, Jodha Bhai's Palace, Buland Darwaza, Panch Mahal, Ibadat Khana and tomb of Sufi Salim Chishti. And after a long rule of 49 years of old, he died in 1605 and he left a large administrator behind him. After that, he did not discriminate his nobles and officers on the basis of their religions, all the above qualities, but Akbar, among the great rulers of the world, died in 1605. So that's all for this session. Once again we will meet in our next session with new chapter. Read this lesson very carefully, follow this video very carefully. We will meet once again in our next session. Till then, have a nice day and take care of your health.